This is the weekend edition of iFIBER 1 News, where we present some of the top stories from this week and your weekend weather forecast. I'm Amber Jenks. Stay tuned for the weekend edition of iFIBER 1 News.
From the iFIBER 1 HD studio here in the heart of the Columbia Basin, this is iFIBER 1 News, your number one source for local news, sports headlines, and our very own Weather Center forecast covering the entire Columbia Basin. This is iFIBER 1 News, and it starts now.
One of our top stories this week was about Representative Dan Newhouse meeting with veterans in Moses Lake to address their concerns and answer their questions. Reporter Cameron Probert was there and has a story.
Healthcare was the top issue for veterans meeting with Representative Dan Newhouse Tuesday. The Republican representing the 4th District in the U.S. Congress invited veterans to share their issues with him at a meeting at the Moses Lake Civic Center auditorium.
You probably would be very interested to know that in my year and 3 months now as your elected congressman, the lion's share of the calls we get into our district office and even in the office in Washington, D.C., come from veterans.
The representative said the meetings give him a chance to learn about the struggles veterans face as they deal with the Department of Veterans Affairs.
I don't think there's a better person to ask than someone that's having to struggle through the bureaucracy firsthand. That's the best way that I know of to find out how to make the system work better. And as you know, the VA, although it does some great things, it could do them a lot better in a lot of different respects. And so, at least that's what I've come to understand over the...
Several of the complaints focused on people trying to get services through the Veterans Choice Program. The program was created in 2014 as a way to give veterans access to private health care if they lived more than 40 miles away from a Veterans Affairs facility. One attendee stated he had to drive to one location to get his eyes examined, but couldn't purchase glasses from the same location. Another attendee stated he could get his initial hearing aid covered, but couldn't get it replaced or repaired. The Stars and Stripes newspaper reported the U.S. Congress is working on fixing the program, and a bill is expected to be put forward by the end of May. The program received support from some audience members, with at least 2 people saying they've never had any problems with it as long as they follow the rules. The service at Veterans Affairs medical centers in Spokane, Seattle, and Wenatchee was criticized by some of the attendees, with people reporting that they were not able to get service from one or another facility. The complaints were met by other people saying that they received good service from the medical centers and the system shouldn't be run like a private company. For iFIBER 1 News, this is Cameron Probert reporting.
Grant County Fire District 13 is asking voters to approve a bond to build a new fire station and upgrade fire equipment for the April special election. Reporter Joe Utter has the details.
Grant County Fire District 13 is asking voters to approve a bond in April to build a second fire station and upgrade equipment. The Fire District Board of Commissioners approved 2 propositions for the April 26th special election. A proposed $825,000 bond, or Proposition 1, would allow the Fire District to build a new fire station in the southern portion of the Fire District. Fire District 13 covers about 126 square miles in the rural Ephrata area. The fire district currently operates out of the main fire station located in Ephrata. The proposed bond would also be used to replace breathing air tanks and upgrade fire equipment. Residents would pay about 40 cents per $1,000 worth of assessed property value if the bond is approved, or about $3.33 per month for a property worth $100,000. Proposition 2 is a levy that would allow the fire district to collect the full $1 in property tax per $1,000 of assessed property value. The fire district currently collects 81 cents per $1,000 of property value. The total cost, if both propositions are approved, would be about $4.72 per month for a $100,000 property. Ballots for the April 26th special election are mailed to voters starting on April 5th. This is Joe Utter for iFIBER 1 News.
And now we take a look at people being sought by law enforcement.
This is Sheriff Tom Jones with the Grant County Sheriff's Office. Each of the people you see here have a warrant for their arrest. If you see any of these people, we ask you do not attempt to detain or apprehend them, but call us at 509-762-1160 or send us an email at primetips@co.grant.wa.us. If the person is presenting a danger, call 911. With your help, we can bring these people to justice and make our community safer.
We'll be right back after this.
Are you prepared to pay your capital gains? I'm ABC's Chief Business and Economics Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis with today's tax tip. 2014 was a record-breaking year for U.S. stock markets. Investors who cashed in on all the good times will likely be paying taxes on those gains. Kiplinger's Kevin McCormley.
The top tax rate on capital gains is 23%.
But there are ways around paying the price. H&R Block's Kathy Pickering says if you thought ahead, you sold some of your losers before the year ended.
If you had some gains and then you could also sell some stocks at a loss to offset that, that's a great strategy.
Gift wrapping your gains may be a better bet, says Tom Wheelwright, founder of CPA firm Provision.
If you gift stock, instead of having to pick up the gain and then get a deduction, you don't have to pick up a gain, but you get a deduction for the full value of the stock. So you're not picking up gain and getting a deduction, so you get a double benefit.
With today's tax tip, Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News.
Now for your iFIBER 1 News Weather Center forecast.
Well, it was a beautiful afternoon for a track meet at Quincy High School on Thursday.
5 local area high schools battled it out in the best of the basin meet in Quincy Thursday. Ephrata dominated the field. The boys finished with a team total 145.5 points. Quincy was second with 98.5. The girls finished with 182. The Lady Jacks were a distant second with 80. Several Tigers turned in outstanding performances on the afternoon. Maddie Younger set the pace for the girls with first place finishes in the long and triple jump events. She took second in the high jump and was a member of the first place 4x200 relay team. Sam Klein raced past the competition in the 100 and 300 meter hurdles. Haley Hovland placed first in the 1600 and 3200 meter runs. The boys were paced by Octavius Mason, who took first in the 100 and 200 meters, and Ethan Green, who owned the distance events with first place finishes in the 800 and 3200 meter runs.
The Tigers picked up their 6th straight win on the early season Tuesday in Ephrata.
Ephrata came back from a 4-0 deficit to beat Wapato 15-5 at home last night. Jordan Estrada's 3-run blast in the top of the first gave the Wolves an early lead. The Tigers responded with 2 runs in the bottom of the frame. Ephrata took its first lead with a 3-run third. Wapato got one back in the top of the fourth. The Tigers added 3 in the home half of the inning and then blew the game wide open with a 7-run fifth. Bryce Davis had the big stick for Ephrata with 3 hits and 5 at-bats and 3 RBI. Tyler Lutz was 0 for 0 with 5 walks and 2 runs scored. Jackson Gray recorded the win for the Tigers, who moved to 5-0 and to the top of the heap in the CWAC League standings.
The Cougars hosted a doubleheader with the Warriors in 2B Central Washington. Non-league action, but only one win was chalked up on the afternoon.
The Cougars took one and tied one with Cle Elum on a windy afternoon in Warden Wednesday. The Warriors jumped out to a 2-0 lead in Game 1. Warden responded with 3 in the home half of the frame. The Cougars rattled Cle Elum's starter in the bottom of the second, who gave way to a Warrior reliever. Guillermo Gonzalez then stepped up to the plate and jacked a 3-run shot over the left field fence to blow things wide open for Warden. Tyson Yamani got the win. Drake Hansen recorded the save. The nightcap ended in a 4-4 tie due to darkness in the bottom of the fifth. The Cougars' Zach Askins had just tied the game with the 3-run home run with 2 out. Cleellum brought in a reliever, but by the time he had warmed up, it was too dark to finish.
Moses Lake and Eastmont battled it out in league play, and it was the home team pulling out a come-from-behind win.
It was a tale of two halves in the Big 9 showdown on the pitch at Lions Field. The Wildcats owned possession in the first 40 minutes and led 1-0 at the break. The margin could have been much wider had it not been for a superior effort by Chiefs keeper Eddie Reyes, who took a beating stopping several Eastmont scoring threats. Moses Lake dominated the second 40 minutes of action. Anthony Cortez leveled the match 1-1 in the 55th minute. He put the Chiefs up 2-1 at the 62nd minute. Miguel Segura laced a shot past the top post to make it 3-1 with 12 minutes left in the fuss. A defensive breakdown led to the Wildcats' second goal of the contest with 7 minutes left to play. Moses Lake held on for the W to move to 3-1 in conference play and into a tie for first with Davis. The two go at it in Yakima, April the 5th.
There are plenty of high school and college sporting events going on in the Basin this weekend, so if you get the chance, get out and root on your favorite team. Players and coaches will appreciate your support. We'll be back after this commercial break.
You don't have to drive to Seattle for exceptional cancer care. Confluence Health's cancer program delivers world-class care close to home. We have a highly experienced oncology team in a state-of-the-art facility, and we're a member of the Seattle Cancer Care Alliance, which gives our patients access to world-renowned therapies developed at Fred Hutchinson, the University of Washington Medicine, and Seattle Children's. Together with the SCCA, we're delivering world-class cancer care close to home.
To save some energy, I've used Einstein's mass energy equivalents to design the haptic suits you see in front of you. They will maintain our core body temperature while we completely turn off our heat and air conditioning. With the money we save on our Grant PUD bill, I'll be expecting that trip to Disneyland this year.
You don't need to be a super genius to save energy and money. Visit grantpud.org to learn how.
Big Bend dropped a league opening doubleheader at Columbia Basin College Wednesday. The Vikings were blown out 11-1 in Game 1. 3 Hawk hurlers combined for a 2-hitter and held the Vikings scoreless through 7 innings. Former Moses Lake Chief Drew Luetta came up big for CBC with 3 hits and 4 at-bats with a double, a triple, and 4 RBI. Tyler Winkler gave up 7 runs off 12 hits in 6 innings on the bump and was tagged with the loss. Chase Tunstall threw 6 innings of 1-run ball, but his effort was wasted in a close 1-0 loss in the nightcap. Big Bend bats were silent in both games as the Hawks pitching staff surrendered just 6 hits in the twin bill. The Vikings are back on the diamond in Wenatchee Saturday afternoon for a doubleheader with the Knights. First pitch is 1 o'clock. Well, check out this monster slam by Aaron Gordon in the Brooklyn-Orlando game last night. The Nets' Sergei Karasov turns it over. The Magic's Alfred Payton tracks the ball down and dishes it off to Gordon for the huge slam. Take another look as Gordon takes flight from the charity stripe and finishes strong. It's CNN's Play of the Day.
And well coached, by the way, absolutely. There's a turnover. Oh, look out below! Look at this break. EP getting a handle on the ball. There's a good find right there. That young man knows what to do with it. Wow, what a finish. Coming right at you.
If you're a fan at a game in the Amway Center and you just can't turn.
Well, things got a bit chippy on the ice in the Blackhawks Wild matchup Wednesday as one player was ejected and the other bloodied up.
Dubnik with a pad save. Scandella up the boards, but Hossa intercepts. Back to the point and across for Jalmerson with the pass. Brings Jalmerson out of the zone. Coyle was hit up high by Duncan Keith, but there's going to be a penalty here against Chicago. Coyle is cut on the play, and this looks like it'll be more than just 2 minutes against the Hawks defenseman. That Keith being sent to the locker room.
Chicago, number 2, 5 minutes.
Man, that had to hurt. It's going to leave a mark, too. Well, Felix Hernandez gave up 4 runs and 4 hits in 3 innings in a 7-5 Cactus League loss to the Padres Wednesday. Hernandez didn't have his best stuff on the final spring outing, but the M's ace says he'll be ready to roll for his 9th opening day start when Seattle kicks off the regular season on Monday in Texas. We'll be back after this short break.
Whether you're looking for a bigger car to support your growing family, a new truck for your business, or something to pull that toy of yours, we've got you covered at Barry Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ephrata. Come see us today and learn why your family, friends, and neighbors buy their cars at Barry. On Basin Street for more than 35 years, and with locations in Moses Lake and Wenatchee, we are one great place to buy a car. Call or click 754-2411 or barrysaves.com.
We are real students, and this really is our college.
My dream will change the outcome of my life.
My college is allowing me to achieve my dream.
My dream is to be a pilot.
My dream is to be a nurse.
Only you can determine your dream. Big Bend will help you get there.
What's your dream?
Our next story is a roundup of several Easter egg hunts throughout Grant County. Hundreds of kids took part in free events hosted by community organizations. Reporter Devin Higgins has the story.
It was another wild Easter weekend for kids across Grant County, starting on Friday night with the annual Ephrata Parks and Recreation Scramble at Lions Park. About 100 kids showed up for the Mad Dash for about 1,500 eggs, which held both candy and prizes like a GoPro camera. It took less than a minute for the park to be cleared, and kids were soon on their way home to get a good night's sleep before the festivities resumed on Saturday. Out at McCosh Park on Saturday morning, the Moses Lake Lions Club teamed up with the Moses Lake High School Robotics Club and Boy Scout Troop 67 to put out more than 6,000 eggs for about 300 kids to scoop up. Lions Club members said to give everyone a better chance to come away with some eggs, the scramble was divided into different age groups. Meanwhile, out at the Moses Lake Sand Dunes, the Sand Scorpions put on their annual Easter egg hunt with more than 100 kids bounding over the sand to pick up more than 5,000 eggs. Organizer Penny Archer said the hunt is put on through the 100% contributions of volunteers and donations from several Grant County businesses. 5 lucky hunters had a chance to take home big Easter baskets, and 10-year-old Moses Lake resident Lily Sheldon found not just 1, but 2 winning tickets, which she shared with her cousin, 9-year-old Cooley City resident Madison Voss. So Blake's McKay Rehabilitation Center opened up their lawn for another year as the Grant County Fire District 7 Auxiliary hosted their annual scramble. Auxiliary Vice President Susan Grass said the event is a chance for the entire Soap Lake community to come together and do something fun for the holiday.
We actually go into the community. We ask for donations. We do provide some of the stuff ourselves, but the majority, the lion's share, comes from the community, donors and whatnot. This year we did over 9,000 eggs filled with candy and or prize tickets. And we had over 100 prizes to be able to give out, individual prizes as well as the winners of the big baskets. So it's been a neat year for us.
In Quincy, the Moose Lodge put on their annual hunt for kids in the 4th grade and under in East Park.
This is an annual event for Quincy Moose Lodge. The men of the Moose and the women of the Moose join hands, and we get together, stuff eggs. We all come out and put the posts up, the forums, get this thing ready for Easter each and every year. It's been a great attended event. It seems like it gets bigger every year, and it's just a great thing for the community and for our little kiddos.
And the festivities wrapped up back in Ephrata's Lions Park Saturday afternoon as the Ephrata Rotary Club welcomed kids back out for another chance to take home some more goodies. In Ephrata, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
We'll be right back.
Well, one thing I knew from being a patient myself was that a dental office is a scary place to come to. And so we wanted everything possible to make sure that our office is a comfortable place for our patients to visit. The patients that I have, my clients, have made me a part of this community, and we want to give back in every way possible.
Experience speed like never before when you connect to Grant PUD's high-speed network. Visit grantpud.org to learn more.
Welcome back. The next story is about a new tool to help anatomy and physiology students at Big Bend Community College. Reporter Devin Higgins has the story.
Deep within the labs of Big Bend Community College's Science and Math building, there exists a creature right out of the pages of a Frankenstein story, but is helping teach the next generation of doctors how to navigate the human body. Say hello to Cal, an 80-pound artificial human cadaver, or also known as a syndaver. Cal's muscles are made of synthetic proteins, and his arteries and veins, as well as his organs, are colored and laid out to resemble how they look inside a real human being. Big Bend's science department got Cal through a grant earlier this year, and for the past 2 quarters, he's been used under the watchful eye of science professor Barbara Jacobs. Jacobs has been teaching at Big Bend for 44 years and said having access to new tools like Cal has been educational for both her and her students.
In a human cadaver, everything is the same color. It's all this grayish brown color. And you can't, I mean, it's not easy to distinguish, say, arteries from veins because they're both this grayish brown. In the cadaver, the arteries are red and the veins are blue. So we can just, when we do the circulatory system in class, we can just make our way through the body and trace the pattern of arteries and veins. And the muscles are more easily manipulable. You can separate parts one from another more easily to show the students.
In earlier times, medical students had to learn how bodies worked by dissecting animals or studying actual human cadavers. Jacobs said the growth of technology in just the past few years has revolutionized how students learn the same curriculum.
The revolutionary new stuff, well, it started, of course, when we got the internet. And then we started with learning management systems, which are these computer systems or computer sites that we share with our students. And so anytime I want to communicate with students, anytime I want to make things available to them, that's what I use the learning management site for, and that's really revolutionized the way we teach.
Along with Cal, Jacobs said another new tool that's changed how she teaches is an immersive digital program called Visible Body. The program does away with more conventional things like posters, charts, and even textbooks, as it allows both her and her students to digitally explore every aspect of the human body in ways never before available.
I just think the students may not realize it, but they have it so easy today because it makes it so easy to conceptualize things. And like in class, we can, when we do the lecture PowerPoints and record them, we can be playing animations of complex physiological processes. And that's one of the reasons I never get tired of teaching, because there's always something new and revolutionary that makes it better for the students.
At Big Bend Community College, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
Rounding out this week's news coverage is a story about Grant County commissioners approving an ordinance to allow for a temporary fireworks ban during wildfire season. Reporter Devin Higgins has the details.
Good afternoon. It is 4:01. We have an open record public hearing, ordinance amending Chapter 6.04 of the Grant County Code entitled Fireworks.
The Grant County Commissioners met Tuesday afternoon to discuss allowing the county fire marshal to ban the sale and use of fireworks during wildfire season if conditions deem it necessary. Grand County Civil Deputy District Attorney Jim Mitchell said the new code updates rules put in place back in 1970 and is similar to codes approved in Douglas and Chelan counties in recent years. With Grant County and other parts of Washington state hit hard by wildfires over the last 2 years, Mitchell and the commissioners agreed giving Fire Marshal Dave Nelson the power to initiate a temporary ban is beneficial to lowering the risk of more fires being started. Commissioner Cindy Carter asked Mitchell if fireworks vendors would be notified in advance of a pending ban. Mitchell said it would be left to the marshal's discretion, but such a notice would likely be sent out. Following the discussion, the commissioners voted unanimously to put the new code in place, and it will go into effect next year. In Ephrata, Devin Higgins for iFIBER 1 News.
That wraps up our weekend edition. iFIBER 1 News will be back on Monday at 5 p.m. with the latest news from around the Columbia Basin. Thank you for watching.